Hey, what's up everyone? This is K Collections and this will be my servant review for Brave Liz. Before I start, I just want to say, holy crap, she's not wearing much. For all the pervs out there, just remember, she's 14. Here are her stats. She's towards the middle for attack when you compare her with the other 4-star Sabers, higher than Rama but lower than Lancelot. Her HP stats is the second lowest, just above Saber Lily. Liz has a double arts and buster type deck with a buster NP, so there is consistency. Hit counts are good except for buster. The main focus is to charge your NP gauge, perform a arts quick arts brave chain. Ideally, you want to leverage her high hits from extra. Her active skills are okay, it's passable in my opinion. The main issue is her third skill, but I'll talk about that later. Her first and second skill are good as it improves her survivability and offensive capabilities. The problem is that all skills last only one turn, and the two effects within those skills doesn't synergize well with each other. So, you have to decide invincibility or NP gain, buster buff or defense buff. Basically, you're going to have to sacrifice one effect for the other. It's a different story if one of the effects lasts 3 turns, but that's not the case. For her first skill, prioritize the invincibility. For her second skill, prioritize her buster buff. Treat the other effects as a bonus. Mana burst should be the skill to max out first, especially for its 5-turn cooldown. Now, for her infamous third skill. The effects are great, specifically the party invincibility or the insane number of stars she can generate. The weakest effect would be the healing. Not that it's bad, but compared to the other effects, it's not as desirable. So I'm pretty sure you know that the crappy part about the skill is that it's RNG at the cost of 100 NP gauge. The cost is too high, just for a 20% chance of getting the effect you want. This makes it hard to plan or strategize with. You'll have more results just using the NP attack. You also can't activate this unless you have her NP gauge filled. Most of the time, you won't even activate this, which means she's one skill short, and that really hurts a servant's potential. She has 2 passive skills. The arts buff will help her a bit. Her Noble Phantasm attack is a single target that ignores defense, which can be helpful, but situational. Use her NP attack first within an NP chain to increase other servants' overcharge stage. The burn effect helps, but it isn't really necessary, especially if another servant's effect is better. For CE recommendations, focus on boosting her offensive capabilities while giving her some starting NP. This way, you have a strong setup for her NP attack, or if you're crazy, it's a fast setup for her third skill. Brave Hero Ellie will be released the same time as this servant. Use that CE if you have support that can charge her NP right away. This way, you'll focus strictly on damage output. And here are some budget CEs you can use. For team combos, Waver and Shakespeare are strong support for Brave Liz. This team specializes in fast NP charge, and the central focus will be buffing Liz's strength for burst damage. Now, the biggest weakness is that this team only has one offensive servant, and because the casters have a lot of arts attacks, you won't deal a lot of damage. You won't perform a lot of buster chains as you'll only have 6 between these servants. Waver can charge her NP gauge up to 50% right away, which also buffs her attack and defense. That's a strong setup for Brave Liz. You can also perform frequent arts chain to charge her NP gauge. Waver's NP attack also decreases enemies' defense, which will result in more damage when you attack with Liz. For Shakespeare, he can instantly charge NP gauge by 20%. Combine that with Waver, that's a 70% charge for Liz. He can also buff her buster performance, which also helps his own NP attack. If you combine all skills, that's 4 offensive buffs for Liz. If you're lucky, 2 from her own skill, 1 from Waver, and 1 from Shakespeare. Another team combo would be Nightingale and Leonidas. The main focus for this team is a balance between offensive attacks and survivability. There's strong synergy with this team's attack cards, being a bit more buster focused. However, this team relies heavily on Nightingale. If she dies, then this team will fall apart. Nightingale can constantly heal your team, and because she's a berserker, she can be your second attacker, especially if you're facing servants, which you should if you're using Brave Liz, thanks to her second skill. Most importantly, she can buff Brave Liz's buster attacks. Leonidas can be the protector of the team thanks to his taunt. He can also take care of any random archers in battle. Finally, his party buster buff will help your team offensively. Rama and Bathory can also work well with Brave Liz. This team's main focus is to kill Lancer bosses. All of them have single target NP attacks, and they're buster focused. There's really no weaknesses if you're using this team for its intended purpose. Rama can increase your party's attack, and he'll benefit greatly if Liz's third skill generates stars for him. I know, not a really reliable strategy, but who knows? If it does work, you'll have a servant that can deal massive amounts of crit damage. If not, Rama can still be your main crit damage dealer. Bathory can increase your team's NP strength, which is ideal if you chain their NP attacks together. Use his NP last within an NP chain to increase his overcharge so he'll deal more damage. My final thoughts on Brave Liz: she's not that great of a servant. She will suffice as a single target Saber, especially being a welfare servant. You'll have her at NP 5. Outside of that role, she doesn't offer anything reliable to your team. There are a lot of single target Sabers who are just better. Lancelot, Bathory, Rama are examples. Her first and second skills are good, but there's no synergy between the effects. You will most likely sacrifice one effect for the other. The fact that the skills are only for one turn doesn't help either. Her third skill, holy crap, what to say about her third skill? You're not going to use the skill. It's hard to combo with, making it unreliable. And the cost is just way too high. You might as well just use her NP attack. If they were to remove the demerits, that's a different story. At the end of the day, get this servant. She's free. Liz can help you when facing Lancers, but besides making a full Liz team, I'm not really going to use her often. I know I'm being a bit harsh in this review. Feel free to disagree with me. If you think she's the greatest servant ever, that's awesome. Huge thanks to my Patreons for supporting me and my channel. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you. If you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon. So, which welfare servant do you think is the weakest? I think it's Brave Liz. I actually like Saber Lily more, but I'm being biased. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more FGO content. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join my Discord server. All links are in the description. Have an awesome day. Till next time.